Putting clients at the center of your business can lead to organic growth. That's one of the key motivating factors from Henry Pruwer for his business. Good morning and welcome to the session, Henry. How are you?
Hi, Amit. It's good to meet you, and thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Let's get straight into it, sir. So, first question, tell us a bit about your business and what kind of services you provide.
So, Henry Pruwer Diamonds, I'm a diamond specialist and I offer a private client service. Anything in the world of diamonds and fine jewelry is what I can help clients with, anything from an engagement ring to individual pieces of jewelry for any occasion or investment. That's in a nutshell what I do.
Amazing, amazing. And it is the season of weddings right now, so you're probably busy crafting out lots of wedding rings and engagement rings for people that are getting married.
It's actually slightly seasonal, but it tends to be all year round for me. I sort of get
Okay.
surprise phone calls at any time of the week, month, or year.
Wow.
You'd think, well, it's Valentine's Day, Christmas, etc., but actually not. You know, everybody's got their own agenda, their own timetable for holidays, and I just go with the flow, basically.
Going with the flow. So it's not as agenda driven or season driven as people think it is. Interesting. Okay. So first of all, your industry and your business is quite niche. It's quite isn't quite out there all the time, and it's not probably a volume driven business, I imagine. So talk us through, over the years you've been running the business for the last 10 years, what have been your key um magic pills that have really driven the success you've achieved over the last 10 years?
What I realized quite quickly after spending many years working in the diamond industry, so I lived in Antwerp and worked in Antwerp for over 10 years, which is the center of the world's diamond industry, helping clients, manufacturers, mining companies, regional governments with consultancy work in the industry. So I got to know the major players, if you like. And I decided to, when I came back to the UK, to focus the knowledge that I gained into providing a private client offering. And I realized what I have to do is to focus on the client. What does a client want? Not what I can try and push for whatever reason. Listen to what the client wants, try and satisfy their needs, and then succeed through providing that service, I would say.
Amazing. So really becoming a client-centric business has really helped you. Along the way, now naturally, at the moment you run the business by yourself. What kind of challenges do you reckon a solopreneur, and there are literally hundreds of thousands of solopreneurs in the UK, what kind of challenges have you faced with this format of a business, and how have you overcome it? Maybe share your top two challenges you faced and how you're dealing with it right now.
Probably the first is actually getting into the industry, and there it helps that the diamond industry, because of the nature of the high value, is quite a closed industry. You have to be known in order to be accepted in the industry. So I realized very quickly, build a reputation and stick to it, and never ever cut corners in that respect. So keep your word and act honorably at all times, and that is invaluable, I would say. It applies very much in my business, but I think it's equally applicable in any business at all, particularly if you're starting out. Yes, get favors from people, do what you can, but always keep your integrity, I would say.
Amazing. So really getting to know the industry, knowing the major players is a huge part that helped you, but also the simple principle of doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, and having the integrity is a key part for your success.
I think so, because the diamond industry is sort of clouded in a sort of sense of mystery. A lot of people, when you say, oh, diamonds, they think, oh, what a wonderful, amazing world. But when it actually comes to them buying a piece of jewelry, particularly if it's an engagement ring, they need specific information, and my job is to provide that information clearly to them so they can make an informed decision. It's very unique because the business I'm in is a business, but it's a very emotional and emotive product. The diamond, you're buying it as a gift, you're buying it as an engagement ring. But not only that, my client is making a decision. He's buying a ring, but he's not buying it for himself. He's buying it for somebody else. So he has to learn all this knowledge under pressure. You know, he's at the height of his career. He's doing well. He's found the love of his life. Now it's engagement ring time. How do I learn all that information and make the right decision for my loved one? So that's where I come in to try and help them through that.
Interesting. So you're almost educating your customers as well as selling to them, as well as understanding what is they really want. Talk us through that. I mean, what's your process of educating your customer? Because not many people wake up in the morning knowing a lot about diamond rings until they got
No,
to.
absolutely not.
So what's your education process over there? How do you take them through that journey?
So quite often people come to me, they've made the decision they want to buy, let's say, a diamond engagement ring, and they've done a little bit of research online. They've gone to different websites. There's an awful lot of information out there, which is quite tempting because that's what it's designed to be. But it's also quite confusing because, you know, you're dealing with a tiny, very valuable product with lots of very unique characteristics. And it's extremely difficult to make an informed decision online. And again, I think that's where I come in. Yes, I've got a digital presence. I have a website where people can find out a little about what I do and about the product, but actually you need to see the actual diamond to make a decision. And the difference, if you like, with my USB is that I don't have a stock of items I want to sell. When someone comes to me, I find out what they want and then I create it for them. So I find the right diamond for them on the market. I show them a selection. So any diamond that you look at individually is sparkly. You think it's great. It's only when you compare two diamonds or three or four with each other, then you say, oh, this one's different, that one's different. Tell me why, explain to me. And that's the process I go through with the client.
Interesting. So kind of showing them and teaching them as they go along, because any diamond on its own looks wonderful. I have, like I said, two or three diamonds next to each other, and then they can start drawing a choice, seeing what the difference is, and that's where their curiosity comes in. You can start teaching them.
Absolutely. And also I help them when it comes to making the piece of jewelry, because I not only help them choose the diamond, that's, if you like, stage one, but then it's actually, okay, we're going to create the ring now. And my message number one is always, what do you think your partner wants? As I said before, you're buying it not for yourself, but for your partner. So listen to hints that have been dropped and, you know, don't ignore suggestions that have been made along the way. So, you know, if your partner says quite often, I like pear-shaped stones, or I like square diamonds, or I like this or that, there's more than just sort of
There's something there we got to listen out for.
there's something to listen for. So as I always tell the client, are you sure you haven't had any signals? And then one of the things that I've worked on a lot in the UK is to build a very good team of professionals around me that I work with, because like any industry, you have specialists for each area. So I'm the diamond specialist, but I work with people who design jewelry, who actually make the piece, who cast the metal, who do the polishing. It's a whole chain of different specialisms, if you like, that all need to come together and cooperate. Also in terms of timing, again, reliability is key.
Yeah.
Because usually somebody's got a timetable and I want to keep to that timetable, so everybody has to follow suit. And also, last but not least, you're dealing with a product that's not only valuable and unique and special, it's very, very small. So millimeters make a massive difference, whether it's in the size of the ring or the size of the diamond, or a little bit this, a little bit that. These things are crucial. And again, that's where I help. I use my experience to make sure that we actually make something that it looks, not only looks beautiful, but can be worn every day, and, you know, withstand, you know, opening door handles, you know, going to a gym and doing exercises and all kinds of things like that as well.
So it is, and it's also, let's not hide away from the fact, diamond rings can be pretty pricey in terms of they're not insignificant. Oh, let's go to Tesco's and buy a slice of bread. It's a significant purchase that people make. And what you mentioned over there is something that can resonate to many listeners over here, is that you're not really a product pusher. At this level, where people are making this level of investment, it's not about pushing a product, it's about understanding what they want And like you said, you create the solution to what they want. And that in itself makes the sale easier. And that's what business is about at this level of investment, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. So I would never say to a client, I really think you should spend X or Y.
Mm,
I say to them, well, what do you have in mind? And then what kind of budget do you have in mind? And my job is then to realistically take that on board and to say, well, for this budget, this is what I can offer you, this is what you can get.
mm,
And so once the client knows that, then they can make their informed decision if they want to spend a bit more or a bit less, but I'll never push them. One of the beauties, if you like, of diamonds is that you can find something for everyone, really. um, Quite often, especially in the days of today's Instagram and social media, people are posting, oh, I've seen this ring worn by this or this singer or superstar, and it's a 5-carat pink diamond. I'd like one of those. But when you say, well, actually, that could cost $5 million, okay, then maybe we should choose something else. But most people are realistic and pragmatic, and they want something that shows their love,
mm.
but in the right way, if you like. So
Makes sense.
yeah.
Makes sense. So let's shift focus to looking ahead at your industry, or just taking a look ahead at the industry of selling these kind of very bespoke niche products. I mean, what kind of challenges do you think business owners have got to listen out for, look out for, that are in these kind of niche bespoke industries?
I think obviously the challenge of dealing with online, I think, is the main issue. For someone like myself, I've made the commitment I'm going to provide a bespoke individual service. So I need at some point, not always, to meet the client face to face. I do have clients who come through recommendation, and we do everything through WhatsApp messages, exchanging pictures. I found out what I need to know. I send lots of pictures and images and actually create the product for the client. He's never seen it. Obviously, there's a huge amount of trust involved there. But I've done that quite a lot, especially in the pre-Brexit days, when I had a lot of foreign clients as well, European clients, who would pop in and out of London on business or for other reasons. They may have a home in London. And so they just say, oh, I'd like this or that. Can you make it for me? And I'll just pick it up when it's ready, sort of things like that. Coming back to your question, so the challenge is to find your niche, I would say, where you can provide a service that you're comfortable with, because there's so many people out there offering different things. So in my business, there are loads of people offering diamonds and diamond jewelry and individual pieces, etc. So you have to find a way of resonating with clients so that they think, oh, okay, this guy actually, he can probably help me. He can give me what I need, provide the service, and I feel comfortable dealing with him. I think a lot of people in a lot of business, particularly the diamond and jewelry business, they're trying to be very generic. So they'll have a website and they're getting feeds of different supplies that are not their own products. They're just getting feeds from other manufacturers. And basically they're saying to their clients, well, you take your pick from all this stuff, make your decision. I think as much as one can guide the client as possible, help them. Because after all, if someone's an IT specialist or a banker, they know lots about banking and they know very little about diamonds. So for a very short period, they need to know everything there is to know about diamonds so they can make a decision. Or they go to someone, hopefully, who can help them through that process. That's basically what I would say is the defining thing, if you like, about this kind of business.
To really find your niche and develop into it, because and I'm a huge believer of that as well. There are plenty of customers out there, and we just got to be, rather than everything to everyone, be the right thing to the right people, and making the sales becomes far more easier than if you try to be everything to everyone, isn't it?
I think so. And I think also one of the things I've learned is if you hopefully find the thing that drives you, that you feel an emotional connection to yourself as a business, and stay honest to that, then people will see that in you. They say, oh, this guy, he knows about his product. He understands it. He understands what I want as a client.
Mm.
And he's sort of uncompromising in that. So I think that's really important. And when the client understands that, then they'll go with you, they'll understand, and you take them through the journey, and then it's enjoyable as well. So one of the things I do is, if somebody is looking for a piece of jewelry, let's go back to the engagement ring. If they want to, they can stay through the whole process with me. I show them this is the design we're making. I send them pictures of the CAD that's being designed on the computer, show them the different stages so they can actually see how their individual piece of jewelry is being created all the way through. It gives them a stronger attachment to it in the end, because they can say, oh, I've been involved in that. This is what I helped to create.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Makes sense. We're running out of time, but I just want to squeeze in one final question.
Sure.
What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self coming out of education, potentially looking into business? What advice would you give to the 18-year-old entrepreneur in yourself to have an even more successful career than what you've had?
Learn as much as you can, sort of try and get as broad an education as you can, see the big wide world, find something that you're passionate about and follow it. And don't be afraid of following your passion. Go with it and stay with it. And if you believe in something, then people will go with you on your journey, and you will be able to grow through that. I would say, don't necessarily just, yes, get advice from mentors, from people you respect, but go with your own instinct as well and believe in yourself. That's what I would say.
Amazing, amazingly powerful, amazingly thought-provoking, and also empowering as well, just like you and what you've been achieving. Henry, it's been an absolute pleasure in talking to you, and thank you for sharing some amazing learnings out there to the business community.
Thank you very much, Amit. Thank you. All the best. Thanks.
Pleasure.